All right, guys. Well, it's like 6:30 in the morning, and I'm not on crystal meth or cocaine or anything cool except for weed. But none of that other shit's cool though. Anyway, right? Right? Yeah, I'll fucking suck your dick for something besides weed, fool. Sorry, I had to warm up. So, I mean, you know, I'm working really hard on the fucking film. I work from almost 24 hours straight right now. Seriously, I didn't do anything but work. I did fuck Karina. I think. I may have just beat off and thought about it. I don't know. I've done pretty much nothing but work on the dock. I could pass out right now. I'm tired. So what? But I'm gonna do a story for you guys because I know that I've been preoccupied with this other shit. I think you'll be happy once the film's finished because I think that you'll be happy with the final product. I know I will be. Or maybe some of you don't give a fuck. You're like, fuck that fool. I just want you to say stuff so I can make fun of you with my girlfriend. Be like, that dude's a bitch. Fuck me and we'll think about him. Chick's like, oh no, he's always saying his dick stinks and he's got a unibrow and, whatever. Sorry, guys. It's late. I can't hit him every time. Let's get into the fucking story. I was up in the air tonight. I was like, what should I do? Should I venture into the exclusive stories? Should I continue on one of the mainline ones? Should I wrap up Sentinella? And I just decided I'm kind of in a good flow with the Juvenile stuff. I think I'm going to keep going with that. And I think we ended on quite the cliffhanger. I think the next video I want to do is another Florida after this, and then a what really happened. And then kind of come back to this one. I don't fucking know. I'm delirious. It's just because of what time it is at night. My shorty's hat is bent. That's what happens with me with hats. I usually have one for like, no, they last like a couple weeks for me. Okay, into the story now. I can just imagine someone commenting, who gives a fuck about your hat? Tell a stupid story. All right. So, where we had left off last time, a lot of stuff had happened. We basically had gone up to this house, abandoned house, and plotted to kill this guy, Justin. And no, not because of the movie Bully, just because he was a chomo. Yeah, believe it or not, even back then, we weren't cool with chomos. And it was disgusting. I mean, I actually saw the stuff that this guy was downloading. He was downloading kiddie porn. Like, straight up disgusting shit. Like, 9, 10-year-old kids. This guy fucking deserved what he had coming. And I had told you about the interesting cast of people that was up there. Beast, which was, if you want to imagine what that guy was like, imagine like a really gnarly skinhead. I don't know why I want to say Edward Norton in American History X, because he's not that gnarly. And by the oh, never mind. I don't want to talk shit about Edward Norton, but imagine like a really hardcore skinhead mixed with Biff from Back to the Future. That's what this guy was, Beast. He was a scary guy. I mean, in his legend preceded him. He had ripped off his braces to go have a threesome with these two these two older high school girls. I mean, what girls would talk to a 6th grader in a chat room and be like, yeah, take your retainer off, I'll suck your dick. He's like, what? I love getting my dick sucked without retainer on. And just like spits it out because he's so beastly. It's a scary fuck. And then, he had hit he'd hit his own dad. And he'd actually gotten in a fist fight with my dad. The one that you know, Frank, from Frank Fridays. And back when I was like, I had to have been about 12. This guy was a year older than me. And he came over to my house. My parents weren't home. My parents in like the 90s, my parents worked a lot. I beat off a fucking lot in the 90s. The late 90s specifically, but maybe mid 90s too. I remember I used to beat off quite a bit. And back then the internet was pretty new, and like they had like beat off websites. Like you could actually go to a website and it would give you like these crazy techniques about like how you could turn your couches into some sort of mobilized pocket pussy, some big old whale of a pocket beef curtain, I guess. They're like, yeah, you can make your own beef curtain. I'm like, I'm in. Sounds bomb. And I really did. I'm not even fucking around. I used to go to websites that would give me instructions on how to jerk off. So anyway, that was one of my favorite things to do. If you were a kid in the 90s, you probably did this as well. And Beast came over, and at a certain point, I had found some porno. Yeah, I found some porno on a VHS tape. Not to go too into that, but it was regular porno. I know we had talked about bad porno, but this is play ball. So it was like my group of friends had this porn movie. It was like, you know, it was on plastic. It was on VHS. So it was like, you know, on that old plastic antiquated technology. Can you believe there's people probably on Patreon that never even had a VCR? I don't know. People are probably over 18 on Patreon, I hope. But we had like this one porno video. And all of my friends, we just like pass it around. It was fucking disgusting. It had like Vaseline in its cogs and everything. And I remember it was like a weird porn movie. I don't know. I don't think somebody had stolen it from one of their parents or something. But I remember clearly one of my personal favorite scenes from the film was this doctor worked at a hospital. And there were all these chicks bent over for some reason, naked. And he was in a doctor's outfit, and he's like, I gotta lick your ass just to see if your temperature's okay. And they're like, oh my god, lick my ass. And I remember being like 10 and being like, I'm gonna fuck that doctor. Guy looks all right. No, I mean, it was like, I don't know. There was something about seeing all these like girls with big boobs bent over and this guy with this doctor outfit just licking their buttholes. I don't know. It was fucking epic. I don't even remember the name of the porn, but this is the thing that we passed around. I mean, every generation has it. The generations before us, you know, they find their dad's Playboy. They all pass that around. Everyone beats off to it. We had a tape, and it was hardcore, and none of the girls shaved. This was pre-9/11 porn. Brown assholes, bushy bushes. I didn't even know where a fucking vagina... I think we had talked about this in the Virginity series. It's like the first exclusive video I'd ever done. First time I fingered a girl, I thought that it was like where the bush was. I was like trying to I was like, what the fuck? It's just a wall. I didn't know it was underneath. When I found that out, I was like, I was pretty intimidated by it. And, but anyway, yeah, these girls have these like big, crazy bushes. And so this guy Beast had come over to my parents' house, and we were, you know, he was already a bad kid. He was like, I had to have been 11. He was 12. That sounds about right. He comes over and he's like, hey, man. You know, he's one of those guys that was like a grown up, but he was like 12. But he was like, he had like a mustache and like a fucking dagger tattoo with the snake coiled around it. He's like one of those guys. He's like, hey, man, what's up? I'm Todd. I'm like, that's not your fucking name. He's like, I know. It's the name of my fake ID. And because I look so old, they buy it. Dude's fucking 12. And I was like, wow, you're fucking cool. So he came over, he's like, hey man, let's drink some of your parents' alcohol. Don't be a bitch. I'm like, oh, all right. Yeah, I'm not a bitch. Drink beer and we'll watch Beavis and Butthead or something. So that's what we did. We go into the kitchen at my parents' house, and we're drinking beers. Felt like a grown-up. That particular summer, by the way, Beast, and he had this little like sidekick named Homeboy. I don't know. That's what it was. I'm not here to pass judgment. He was a guy named Beast, and he had his Gilligan. Come here, Homeboy. Come here. Homeboy would be like, what do you want me to do? But Homeboy was like not as scary as Beast, right? And that summer we were really like into skateboarding, and You know, I was just like the annoying kid that would tag along. I always had friends who were like a year or two older than me. And we ended up finding this carton of, they were like Winston's or something, some sleazy ass cigarette company that I have. I'm even as dirtbag as I am these days. I don't even smoke Winston's. Can't even imagine like getting one of the, yeah, go ahead and throw some Winston 100s in there. You know, I can't imagine even saying that. But we found a carton of it, and I remember that summer we would like go to, you know, my parents' backyard, and again, I didn't know how to smoke cigarettes. I thought you were supposed to blow on it. You know, I was like, they're like, hey man, knock that shit off. Ryan's being a creep again. I'm like, oh, I am. Sorry, Todd. He's like, stop calling me that. It's my fake ID name. I'm like, okay. But I remember that summer we'd like take our shirt off and we'd smoke a cigarette. It was like this whole, it was like Mission Impossible shit to like smoke a cigarette. And then like we'd go home and like my parents would get home. They'd be like, hey guys, what are you guys doing? What are you kids up to? And I'd be like, well, we didn't smoke a cigarette. Parents would be like, we didn't say you did. What the fuck? Why are you saying that? I'm like, I don't know. And Beast is like, shut up. I'll fucking strangle you tomorrow, bitch. I'm like, oh, okay. So he comes over this particular day. We've been like smoking cigarettes all summer. These Winstons. I mean, carton when you're that old and you don't even know how to like inhale last forever. That's what we would do. We'd like light cigarettes and blow on them and shit. So this particular day we're drinking beers, smoking Winstons. My parents were never home, and then, you know, I beat off of unless I had friends over. You know, I didn't do that with friends over. I don't think. I don't know. If I did, I probably wouldn't tell you though. But that particular day he's drinking with me.